What up? Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Debate with Bake podcast with yours truly. I am your host, C Bake, Debate with Bake champion. And we back with another one with my man, my brother from another, my partner, my co-host, representing the boroughs, representing the New York Knicks, representing the New York Jets, New York Yankees, New York Mets, New York Islanders, Buffalo Bills. That's the luxury he gets of being in New York. He can represent any team at any time. So what's up, Cole? What's up
Chilling.
to the five boroughs? What's going on with you, baby?
We chilling over here, man. We kind of in a drought right now. No real sports. I ain't gonna say no real sports because we still got hockey and college basketball, I guess you could say. But
Right.
like no sports until Thursday, really. So we kind of like, you know.
Yeah, but things are looking up for y'all, man. I mean, you got the second half of the season, like Madison Square Garden is booming. It's. I told you, man. It's always like when the Knicks are winning. As much as I always used to hate on the Knicks, it's like if New York City basketball is back, if y'all competitive, it's good for the NBA because y'all the number one market as far as cities. And it's like it's just better when the Knicks are the villains and they back. So y'all are back. Y'all should be excited about the second half. Your superstar got that taste of being amongst the league best at the All-Star weekend. Shout out Jalen Bronson. You know what I'm saying? So you should be excited, man. You should be ready to kick it off. Y'all should be ready. You know what I'm saying?
I will say congratulations on that win that y'all got against us. I ain't gonna take. I ain't gonna talk
Hot
about
about that. He was hot about that, ladies and gentlemen. It was a very controversial call ending. I'm not gonna be a hater. It was. I'm
You
not gonna
still
lie.
never been in that position anyway. So kudos to y'all, man. So
Yeah, no. But I agree. What's right is right. What's fair is fair. That was crazy. That was a crazy call. Just from a basketball standpoint, I think it kind of gave the game a black eye.
Yeah.
Like if the referees are gonna be like that, it's like it make you not even want to like. I was disgusted in the sense that it's just a good game. Let's not like end it like that. So it was bad. It was bad. I mean, I'm wearing this Rockets hat and I'm Houston all the way, but that was bad. That was bad. That
Done it
game.
3 times.
Yeah,
He did it again after that game. I guess he reportedly made another bad call and ruined another game. So
right,
we need to get rid of this ref, man.
right. It's so unfortunate, man. It's so unfortunate. But anyway, I mean, we glad to be here. We back in here with Chuck, the number one producer, the man of the label, the number one producer that's helping us tonight. Shout out to Chuck. Shout out to Mo City Podcast. Guns down, gloves up with Johnny Bonder, aka Dr. Jeremiah, with Candace Matthews, the whole Mo Serious family. We got more acts coming. Check out our merch at moserious.com. Go in there and get you a hat, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a debate with Bake, Mo City Podcast, everything, man. We got merchandise. We still moving. We still doing it. And shout out to everybody who's subscribing, hitting that like button, the chat, everything, man. Everything is going good. We looking to get back into it. So let's get into it. Chuck, let's get into some fantasy, man. Let's get into some fantasy. Well, we don't have any fantasy tonight, right?
No fancy tonight. They just came off of All-Star.
That's right. That's
right.
So
we'll let it ride instead of making picks for later this week.
Right. So we're gonna start it off with the episode 19. And this is basically, ladies and gentlemen, an NBA episode, being that it was All-Star weekend. We got some things we want to talk about. And then, we got a little bit of things coming up. The boxing season, I call it, even though it's year round, we're getting ready to have some good matches, but we're going to get into a couple of topics when it comes to boxing. So we're going to be heavy on basketball and boxing tonight. But first and foremost, when we get into it, Cole, you watched the All-Star game. What do you think, man? Me and Chuck was talking about it off the air, man. Like, how do you feel about this All-Star weekend, man?
I'm just not interested in
right
up until the slam dunk contest, because even that was controversial. That was bullcrap. And I'm not even trying to say because it's a New York Knicks, but there's no way in how Jaylen Brown's dunks were better than Toppin's dunks, and they weren't even better than Jamie from the Heat.
Right. I don't know what that was about. It made me feel like I was watching a 1986 dunk contest where it was like throwing the ball off the backboard was like the best thing. Like I feel like I was watching Kenny Smith dunk. No disrespect to the Jet. Shout out to Kenny Smith and the TNT crew and former Houston Rocket 2-time champion. But I'm with you 100%, man. I didn't know what that was about. It was weird. It was just weird watching him do them dunks. and it was just weird, the scoring. I don't know, man. It's just for me, All-Star weekend, like, I'm actually okay with the dunk contest. And the reason why I'm okay with it is because I'm just accepting the fact, Cole, that the best players are not are participating in the dunk contest. I mean, no disrespect to Matt McClung. He definitely deserves
it. In the NBA, freak that.
Right, exactly. And so it's like, it also adds to what we were talking about off the air, me and Chuck, in terms of like just the All-Star game period. It's not competitive no more. I mean, I remember in the 80s and 90s, Cole, and I hate to sound like this because I just remember when the old heads used to be telling me, like, man, we just not into what y'all into. But I think it's even worse now. I hate to sound like that, but it's just like, I'm just not into it. It's not competitive. I remember in the 80s and 90s, like on a Saturday afternoon, it's like, and that was usually around the time in my neighborhood was basketball season. So you either playing in the league or you was playing outside. And it was like, man, we was playing, and then it was like we couldn't wait to get in to watch the All-Star game because that's when we could really compare. I mean, this is pre-Dream Team and all of that, but it's like we could actually watch David Robinson take on Patrick Ewing. Yep. We could actually watch Michael Jordan go against Magic. So, and it was like, it was competitive. It was like, man, everybody had skills. Everybody was playing hard defense. And it was like, I always walked away from that game going, man, this was the best game of the season. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just like a collection of all the stars, all the best skills in the league coming together. And it's like everybody playing defense, everybody playing hard. It's like I get to watch Barkley dunk on Malone and Malone go at Barkley. It was just great, man. And now it's like, it's just not competitive. And so what I was telling Chuck off air is like, how do we fix it? And Chuck was coming up with some great ideas, and you had a great idea. But for me, it just starts off, it's got to be the top dogs putting their imprint on the game. LeBron, Giannis, saying we're going to go out and we're going to play hard. I think if it starts with them, the game will get better. Because that's what it was. Jordan and Magic were trying to go at each other. You know, Bird and the Lakers were trying to go at each other. And even though they, you know, and talking about the Lakers and the Celtics, even though they knew they were going to see each other at the end of the season, it was like, it's like nothing like the Chicago Bulls teaming up with the Detroit Pistons, facing the Lakers and the Spurs and the Rockets. And you got that at the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And plus, Jordan was in the All-Star game. I mean, in the dunk contest. Dominique in the dunk contest. You know, it's like with Leonard. Like Leonard won the three-point contest and then won the MVP. Well, you could get that with Jordan in the 80s. Win a dunk contest and then be the All-Star MVP. It's just like you witness greatness and like everybody was playing and nobody cared. It was like, yeah, people are injured, but it was like, this is the game that we putting on for the fans. And so we want to put out a great product. And it's just like, it's just not like that anymore. It's just not like that. It's just a watered down product. Like I didn't even watch the second half.
Man,
I didn't.
I just think there's this. I just don't like the competitive nature of people.
Yeah,
I don't really like how NBA games go as much. Exactly. I just feel like people just quit. People don't put forth effort. I think you have the tanking syndrome. You just got teams that you pack it in like 25 games in the season. They're like, oh, the season's over. Instead of having teams like Memphis, who I commend, those dudes that are trying to be in the NBA, dudes playing hard, regardless of all the superstars being gone. I feel like there needs to be more integrity. I feel like the game lacks integrity with a lot of these young players.
And see, and I'm going to always say this too. I'm going to say this for the season and the All-Star game. I always tell you that I'm always telling you that I love Bronson so much. And and the reason why is not just, it's who he is and what he represents. And what I mean by that, he represents the guy that doesn't take any shortcuts. He represents the guy that's the superstar that plays every game if he could. He plays through injuries. And remember, I'm always advocating for that for the NBA. I always tell you, I want these guys that play both ways to be the superstars because that will help with the season as well as the All-Star game. You see what I'm saying? Like guys like Bronson, I'm hoping Anthony Edwards keep doing what he's doing. even the kid from the Oklahoma, Gildress Alexander, the Jimmy Butlers versus the guys that's always I don't want to name anybody, I don't want to call anybody out, but I feel like the guys like Brunson and things that will help the All-Star game as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's for me, I think the NBA, I'm hoping it needs a facelift. And I mean, what I mean by that is it's time for the dual side or dual play of the superstars. Like, for example, what I mean by dual threat, I mean, I said play, but I meant dual threat. The guys like Michael Jordan who play defense and offense, I want them to headline the league. I want I want more Giannis's. I want more Bronsons. I want real legitimate superstars who give you, they just not shooting specialists. They not just this specialists. They are like grade A superstars. You know what I'm saying? And I think that'll help the All-Star game as well. Yeah. You know, somebody that's hard-nosed, you know, representing a city, the urban play, the hard-nosed, we get it how we get it. And I just think the NBA, I think that'll help the All-Star game as well. But you're right, the competitiveness, man, it's just like, it's like just a bunch of millionaires out there just like, oh, we taking it easy. It's time to just chill and all that. And it's like, it is time to chill, but give us a good game.
Exactly. I'd rather see people compete for a one-on-one and say, hey, let's try to win some money one-on-one and some other NBA players in the play if y'all don't want to do it. But like to me, it's when the celebrity game and when what you call is more exciting, the Rising Stars Challenge and the 3-point contest, even the skills challenge is more exciting. That it says a lot, man. It says a lot.
It does. I mean, where else are we going to get to watch Giannis, LeBron, Pablo, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony, all on one court at one time playing against each other? Why not give us a great product when you all give us that? I don't know. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into a couple of topics and then we'll wrap it up. All right. So, breaking, and I call this breaking, Vince Carter and Chauncey Billups headline the 2024 Hall of Fame finalists for the NBA. My first question is, should both men get in? And we're talking about Vince Carter and Chauncey Billups and why.
Vince Carter 100% definitely should get in. I think Chauncey Billups should get in too. I think he had a Hall of Fame career with those back-to-back chips. I think that he was a solid point guard, but I definitely think Vince Carter deserves more than he does.
Right. And I got in my notes, I think, I'm with you. I think Vince Carter is a no-brainer. He's got 8 All-Star appearances. And I got a small trivia here, but every retired player since 1958 with 8 or more have all made the Hall of Fame. So I think Vince Carter should just make it based on that. Yeah. Chauncey is really up for a little bit more of discussion because Chauncey only has 5 All-Star appearances, but he's also got 3 All-NBA, 2 All-Defense, and a Finals MVP. Now, that's not that impressive individually wise. And then let's also think about it like this. Remember, the Hall of Fame is called, in basketball, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not like you have an NFL Hall of Fame. But in basketball, it's not just the NBA. I mean, you can get in on college, you know, if you do anything college-wise, coaching. There's the international thing that you could be a part of. But Chauncey, let's get into Chauncey. So why do you think Chauncey should be in the Hall of Fame?
I think that he had solid play. I think he contributed to me. I also think things need to contribute to NBA history. And I feel like that Piston team was not supposed to be what the Piston team was, and they wouldn't have been without him. And I also think the way that he resurrected his career, because he came out as one of the top picks. And he was kind of bland over there when he first came out. But then after he got traded, that's when he became the player that he was supposed to be. So I think he's deserving.
So let's just break that down just a little bit more, because does Chauncey deserve to get in the Hall of Fame over a Phoenix Suns Kevin Johnson?
He won a chip. Kevin Johnson never won a chip. He was the MVP of the finals. You know, he had other accolades too. Is he a better player? Probably not. They probably could be. They could say they're equals. You could say that. I think what separates them is the fact that he won the chip. You know.
Is there anything in particular that you can point to that says that what Chauncey did that you said is Hall of Fame? Any stat, skill?
2 all defensive finals MVP. You know, he was an all-star a couple times, 3 times, you know. So I think being the MVP of the finals, that already cements you in history.
You think so?
It cements you being the most valuable player in a championship of the best players in the world.
But I could play devil's advocate because I think Iguodala won one. Should he be in the Hall of Fame?
I think the Iguodala deserves it. He had a great career with the 76ers.
Whoa.
No,
we put him in the Hall of Fame?
He had a great career up until coming to Golden State, and even then was a good career.
Okay, all right. Let's just go from the let's just go basic. Let's me and you and anybody that want to call in at 281-969-8190. Let's just put some, because this is controversial, and I don't know. I mean the Iguodala thing is up in the air for me, but let's just put some objectives out there. Let's just establish a criteria how you get into the Basketball Hall of Fame. All right, first you go first. What's one of the things that you think a player should do?
Consistency.
Okay, consistency. Okay, which means there could be career, there could be points, there can be awards, that can be. What about games and minutes played?
I think consistency and impact.
Okay,
and that impact shows up in ways of points, assists, rebounds, like whatever. And the reason why I say it like that, because consistency for Dennis Rodman was constantly being a great defender and a great rebounder.
Okay.
Consistency for Iguodala was always that 18 to 20 something point score. Great defender, great team player, did the winning things, been to the playoffs on every team that he's been on. You know what I mean? Like I can't say. I mean, I can see where you could debate it. I can see where it's debatable. Where
because at the same time, because here's the thing, this one saying we start to open up Pandora's box. Okay, we could say Chauncey based on 5 All-Star appearances, 2-time All-Defense, a Finals MVP, and a ring. Okay, was that consistent?
I think towards the back end of his career, he was consistent. I would say for like the last 6 years of his career.
Okay, so if you say that, then I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Then I should be able to put Robert Horry in the Hall of Fame, right? Yeah, definitely. See, that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful because here's the thing. That's why I'm challenging you on this, because it's like you saying consistency, you saying Chauncey, and I get it. Chauncey was Mr. Consistent with the Detroit Pistons, but I could turn around and say, well, you know what? Robert Horry has what, 7 rings, Chuck? 7 rings. He was consistently a big-time player in the playoffs for all the teams he won championships with. So even though his numbers might not compare, his career numbers don't compare to a Chauncey Billups, which adds to your consistency, he won 7 rings. See, that's what I'm saying. We got to establish some kind of criteria.
You're right. I think he's borderline. Then I think you could say he's borderline.
Meaning Horry or Chauncey.
No. Horry ain't he ain't a Hall of Famer.
I agree, but I'm just saying it's got to be stronger. Okay, consistency, impact. I agree. Impact. What was your impact on the game? You know what I'm saying? Like, this might be a bad example, but it's like for me, Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal impacted the game. Like, they changed the rules. Mm-hmm. You know, like for me, Olajuwon changed the way we looked at centers, how he played as a center, his footwork. Dennis Rodman, you could say the way he defended and then the way he rebounded. So you know what I'm saying? Magic Johnson, the way he played point guard, we saw a little bit of it in Oscar Robertson, but Magic won in the way he played, the impact he had on the game. So I'm with you on impact.
So this is my question. I want to ask you a question that's kind of Because if you say this person doesn't deserve it, then I might be in agreement. Does Amari Stoudemire deserve a Hall of Fame?
No. And I'm gonna tell you why. Impact. Was he in his career, was he an impactful player on his teams? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could argue that with Phoenix. New York, he did good. You could say he had an impact on those teams. In particular, what we agree that his best years was what with Phoenix, right?
Mm-hmm.
His numbers were the best, but how many years was that? How many years was he with Phoenix?
I want to say 4 to 5.
Okay. So we could say definitely that's probably his strongest case or strongest case study for Hall of Fame was his Phoenix career, right?
Yeah.
Right. That was when he was probably playing his best.
We can say that.
Okay. To debunk your consistency, that play didn't continue in New York. It didn't continue at the other places. Now, there were injuries involved. Not saying that, I don't want to say he wasn't as good, but the consistency wasn't there from Phoenix to wherever.
So this is a good question because I'm going to ask you 2 more.
All right, hold on. So I would say that because here's the thing. If we're going to say 2 weeks ago that Penny Hardaway had a tremendous 4 or 5 year stretch,
mm-hmm.
but then he kind of tailored off. Injuries, it was mostly injuries with Penny, and we both agreed that there's a real strong case for him not to be in Hall of Fame simply because he just did not continue to stay at that level or even drop down one level from those Orlando years. So that's what I'm saying about Stoudemire in the sense that I could argue, even though he probably played longer and probably was a little bit more productive than Penny throughout his career, I can compare him and Penny with a strong case for 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But within a whole span of a career, it doesn't pan
out. Here's my question for Rasheed Wallace and Jermaine O'Neal. If you put them in the Hall of Fame, if they're Hall of Fame, that means you have to put Chauncey in.
No. I can tell you why. I can make a case for Rasheed Wallace getting in over Chauncey. I can make a strong case for Rasheed Wallace getting in over Chauncey. And again, it's the Naismith Hall of Fame. It's the basketball Hall of Rasheed Wallace was an All-American at North Carolina. If you look at his whole body of work, not just his pro career, I can make a case for Rasheed Wallace over Chauncey. Okay, I'm still on the fence about Chauncey because it's like, man.
Is Draymond Green?
Definitely not. Come on.
But you could make a case for him through college to now. He's won on every level.
Yeah, but he wasn't. We talking about individual because if you're gonna start talking about winning, then we got to do Robert Horry. If you're gonna say Draymond is in for winning,
but you can't say Horry had the same impact as Draymond. I think Draymond played a bigger role on his championship team.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's why we have to establish some kind of criteria because that's a subjective opinion. So you look at Draymond and you say, because we have this argument all the time, and I'm glad you brought up this example. I hear what you're saying about Draymond, what he does for that team. He anchors that team defensively. But for me, my argument to you, and it's going to be my same argument about him for the Hall of Fame, that doesn't quantify into numbers. You see what I'm saying? Like, even the case for Chauncey makes a case in terms of his numbers and his consistency, but it's like, and I'm talking about those years that mainly in Detroit when he was like the catalyst for that team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like with Draymond, a lot of the stuff that we appreciate Draymond for doesn't show up in the stat sheet. So other than him going to the All-Star game 4 times, other than him, he didn't average. I don't think he ever averaged 20 points. If he did, he was right at 20 points, whether it be college or the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
His impact is not so much numbers. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, Draymond, yeah, the rings, yeah. But it just can't be about rings because I don't think he had enough individual stats to say he made an impact or even to say make a case for him being consistent numbers wise. You see what I'm saying? It's subjective. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm not knocking Dray. That's my biggest thing about Draymond. Do I think Draymond is yes, he's a very important part of those championship run years. If he's not there doing what he's doing, I don't think they win a championship. I've never not said that. But I'm saying in terms of his value, you got to look at the time when all three of them wasn't there, his numbers went down. If I'm looking at it from a GM perspective, when I'm trading for him or the Warriors are trying to, what I'm saying is what you're telling me is true. Y'all didn't win without him, but I need numbers to show why he can help my team. You know what I'm saying? What's up? What's up, Coach Trey Austin, man? We in here talking about Vince Carter and Chauncey Billups, if they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Me and Cole both agreed that it's a no-brainer for Chauncey. In particular, had 8 All-Star appearances and every retired player since 1958, with 8 or more All-Star appearances has made the Hall. So we say that.
Vince. I mean Vince, not Chauncey.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm sorry, Vince. For Vince Carter. We both said that Carter would be in. We're trying to figure out if Chauncey should be in the Hall of Fame. So back to what I'm saying. Chauncey Billups, the biggest mantra around him was big shot, big shot, big shot. But again, I mean, he came out of Colorado. I think he was an All-American there. That may be enough. It's just, man, he had a good career with the Celtics too. But was it Hall of Fame? You see what I'm saying? Like it's questionable with Chauncey, man.
With the Celtics, I rate him more as a Hershey Hawkins type of dude. If for those who might remember Hershey Hawkins,
and Hershey is nowhere near the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
But that was his Celtics career.
Okay, so if we look at I don't know his high school career. If we look at what he did at Colorado, and we look at what he did at Detroit, how many rings did they win in Detroit? 2. I think it was 2 rings. They went 3 times.
They won 2 rings.
They went 3 times, right?
And he was solid in Denver. He was solid in Denver too.
He was solid in Denver. His numbers were solid. So maybe the Finals MVP and the rings get him in. Maybe.
I won't be mad if he goes. I won't be mad.
Okay, all right. So again, let's go back to the criteria. Give me 2 reasons why Chauncey deserves to go. Hall of Fame credentials.
Because this is the way I look at it, right? And I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. I look at a person like Dame Lillard, never won a chip, never been to the finals. We're probably going to put him in the Hall of Fame. And you could definitely say he's a better talent than Chauncey Billups.
And Dame's numbers are just they're off the chart. He's one of the top.
But what did they produce?
Yeah, but again, those numbers are not arguable. That's what I'm saying. Like Chauncey
they're not arguable.
Chauncey, see, here's the thing. The thing about Dame is this. His individual numbers and stats alone, more than because you're right, he has not won anything. He's only been to the Western Conference Finals. But his individual accolades in the NBA by itself, the records he set, the number of games he scored, a huge amount of points, puts him in, no doubt.
You're right. I can't argue that, but I feel like
Chauncey doesn't have anything. I feel like it could be debatable that he's not there numbers wise. Accomplishments, 5 All-Star appearances, 2-time All-Defense. It's only 2 times. A Finals MVP, okay, maybe.
But those are hard things to do.
I'm not saying they're not. Listen, I'm not saying they're not. I'm not taking that away from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you absolutely right. And that may be why he gets in, because of the Finals MVP and the ring. That might be, but I'm just saying 5 All-Star appearances, 2-time All-Defense.
All-Defense is huge, though.
Yeah, but it's not like, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about Hall of Fame. It's not like he did it Like Patrick Ewing. Ewing might have did 10 all-defensive teams. You know what I'm saying? Like Patrick Ewing never won a championship, but his numbers and his impact is all, like, it's no doubt Patrick Ewing is in. But just because of the numbers are astronomical. But I'm saying Chauncey and Coach, shout out to Trey Austin. He says, half man, half amazing. Mr. Big Shot should get in. When you have nicknames like that, it's for a reason. But I don't know, man. Chauncey's resume.
Do you think he's more deserving than Carmelo Anthony?
No, because Carmelo has astronomical numbers. It's no question. The only thing Carmelo didn't win is the NBA championship. I mean, it's arguable. Like let's just talk about Carmelo. That was probably, I mean, you can attest to this, Cole, more than I can. That was probably a good 6-7 seasons where he was always considered the top 5 players in the league. Hands down.
The best scorer in the league, too.
Exactly.
Even when LeBron was there.
Exactly. He might have won scoring titles or been in the top 3 every year. He's had 60-point games. No doubt. You see what I'm saying? With Chauncey, it's and okay, let me ask you this. If you take away, because a lot of what I associate with Chauncey did that was big time for me was he led that Detroit Pistons team. He was if you take away that championship run, does he get in?
I think he'd be considered just like Mark Price.
Kevin Johnson, Mark Price.
Yeah, I think he'll be on their levels.
Exactly.
He's not on Stockton's level.
Exactly. There you go. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like,
right. I see what you're saying too.
Other than the championship and what we remember about Detroit, because nobody picked Detroit over that Spurs dynasty. You know, the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe. You know, nobody was, so what they did was incredible. No, they didn't really have. They pretty much won a championship with running a 5-out sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it's remarkable because they weren't supposed to win. But if you take away that championship run, which is so much big case for Chauncey, he might just get in because of that on his resume. Mm-hmm. If you take that away, that's my point. He's Mark Price. He's Kevin Johnson. Maybe even Terrell Brandon.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like, he might get in because of the Detroit years, but there's nothing that grabs you off his resume and says, oh, no doubt. Like even with Carter, 8 All-Star appearances. That's more than probably half his career, right? Half. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Went to the finals, twice? Took the Toronto Raptors to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I can see.
And there were times in games that Vince Carter might have looked like the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Or one of the best players in the league. You see what I'm saying? So Chauncey is like right there on the cusp of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. That's why I say I brought it to the topic, because it's worth the debate. Because, I mean, Chauncey is, but was he ever, other than the finals, did you ever wake up, Cole, and say,
he's a Hall of Famer? Nah.
Or not even that. Did you ever wake up and say, like right now with Bronson, right? Mm-hmm. If Bronson, let's just use Bronson. Right now, we wake up today and say he's easily one of the top 3 point guards in the league. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have that moment with Chauncey in the regular season? If you take away the you thought about
if you take away the yeah.
If you take away what he did in the championship, like, have you ever, in the time that Chauncey played, have you ever, even like I said, even the comparison with Bronson, did you ever think Chauncey was one of the best point guards in the league?
I thought he was a good point guard. I just never would have put him up there as the best. You're right.
That's my point. My point.
So might have to say you
could even argue. That's what I'm saying. Like even now, what Bronson is doing, it's no doubt that Jalen Brunson is one of the top 3 point guards, East or West. Mm-hmm. Has Chauncey ever had a season like that outside? And we really gave Chauncey credit because of that championship run. He was big shot in that run. Mm-hmm. In the regular season, was he ever on your top 5 point guard list?
You're right. You're right.
It's debatable. You know what I'm saying? It's debatable with Chauncey, man. It's just debatable. And I like Chauncey. At the end of the day, I hope he get in.
Mm-hmm.
But is he above Mark Price? Other than the ring, is he above Kevin Johnson? You know what I'm saying? Is he even above little Timmy Hardaway without the ring?
Question for y'all. On that same ring year, was that the Kobe and Shaq Lakers they beat?
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's why we giving them credit.
And Peyton.
Yeah, that's why we giving them credit because, and that's what I'm telling Cole, outside of what, the reason why Chauncey is so popular is because he made big shots and nobody thought Detroit would beat LA. Nobody thought Detroit could beat the Spurs during their dynasty run. Mm-hmm. That was like why everybody was like, yeah, Chauncey tough. You know what I'm saying? But throughout his career, you never thought Chauncey was one of the best point guards. Other than that those championship runs, you never thought he was one of the best point guards in the league.
Never.
That's what I'm saying. It's debatable. It's debatable. It's debatable. Like, I want Chauncey in. I could definitely see how Chauncey would get in on the championship run, but I'm not opposed if he don't get in.
Yeah, I'm not opposed if he don't get in either, especially after how you explained it.
Yeah. I mean, because you got to remember, and again, it might be enough of what he did at Colorado and his NBA career plus a ring plus a Finals MVP to get in. But it is a very good debate that he doesn't get in because, again, let's just look at it like this, Cole. I'm going to ask you another comparison. He didn't do more than Tony Parker.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't do more than Tony Parker. So it's like, it's debatable. You know what I'm saying? Like, the man,
Tony Parker, Derek Fisher, all of them guys.
It might be, you know what I'm saying? He might be a little bit better than Derek Fisher.
He's better than Derek Fisher.
Trey Austin say the man was the third pick in the NBA draft as a PG. I get that. But again, Trey, other than the championship runs, do you ever consider him, if they didn't go to the championship and he was Mr. Big Shot in the championship, would you ever consider him one of the top 5 point guards of his time in the regular season? And he had a solid career, especially in Denver and Boston as well. But anyway, I mean, I just think it's up for debate, man. I want Chauncey to get in, but it's definitely a case as to why he wouldn't get in. But anyway, all right. I want to get to this next question because I want to talk about small forwards. Start one, cut one, bench one, and explain why, Cole. Let's debate this. Dominique Wilkins, Carmelo Anthony, George Iceman Gervin. Start one, cut one, bench one, and tell us why. Think about it. Small forwards.
I'm probably benching Carmelo.
What?
Probably benching Carmelo.
The New York City guy. Wait. You gotta explain why.
Dominique was one of my favorite players of all time. I think he scored it better than almost anyone I ever seen, man. But between Bernard King, the best 3 scorers I have ever seen was Michael Jordan, Bernard King, and freaking Dominique Wilkins. I'd never seen anyone shut Dominique Wilkins down. He was the only one that would go pound for pound scoring with Jordan, although Jordan will always win. But he would show up every single game with them bum-ass Hawks playing with freaking Spud Webb, Stacey Augmon,
Doc Rivers,
Willis, all of them.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
He's the only one I seen other than Jordan at that time, like bird ass up in the garden.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm picking him number 1. And George Iceman Gervin, man. From what my uncles and stuff tell me about him, man, like there was no one stopping that finger roll, man. That was automatic, man. Man.
So you cutting.
And Carmelo ain't play no defense, man. His whole career ain't play no defense.
I am surprised to hear you say that. All right, I got some stats here because I can't make up my mind. All right, overall stats. George Gervin averaged 25.1. Carmelo averaged 22.5. And I think that 22.5 is more towards the back end of his career. Dominique was 24.8. So you're probably about right points-wise. Damn.
And they all stayed a little bit too long to stay in the game. That's why their numbers is down.
Yeah.
Because if you go into it, you look at Dominique, he was always number 2 in scoring in the league for the most part.
So awards, Hall of Fame, George Gervin is in, Dominique is in. I think Carmelo will be in. Championships, none of them got championships.
None of them got championships.
First team All NBA, George Gervin got 5, Carmelo got none, Dominique got 1. All NBA, George Gervin got 7, Carmelo got 6, Dominique got 7. 2-time All NBA, All ABA, and we can't hold that against Carmelo and Dominique. Gervin had 2. Now, All-Star appearances, 12 for Gervin, 10 for Carmelo, 9 for Dominique. You might be right. You might be right. You might have to cut Carmelo. I mean, damn, man, I don't know, man, because Prime Melo,
I never really seen Melo play defense either, though. Like,
I mean,
he wasn't a liability. He wasn't a liability, but I ain't really never seen him play. At least I can say I seen Dominique play defense, man.
Okay, so are you starting Dominique or Gervin?
I'm starting Dominique. I watched Dominique. I seen highlights of Gervin, and I heard from what my uncles told me. But Dominique, I watched him, yo. Dominique was my guy, man.
So you a little bit biased to Dominique.
I'm not biased. I think I've seen all of Carmelo's career, and I've seen a great majority of Wilkins' career, and I still don't think Melo can score it like Dominique. And Dominique was a better athlete.
But you don't think Melo had better skills than Dominique? Dominique was a top-tier athlete. Let's just say that.
Yeah, he was a better athlete.
But you don't think Melo had better skills than Dominique?
I can't say, because
Dominique didn't shoot the 3 well.
He didn't shoot the 3 well, but he did everything else well. He might have been a better ball handler than Melo.
Hold on, let's ask the chat. We're gonna get Chuck in on this. So Trey, start 1, cut 1, bench 1. Dominique Wilkins, Carmelo Anthony, George Gervin. Start 1, cut 1, bench 1. Chuck, what you think?
It's tough, fam. It's tough. It's hard for me to. I love Melo, and I can't out loud say I'm a bench Melo. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard for me to say that.
It's hard to say it.
Hard to say it, but Cole, you wilding on the ball handling from Melo and
no, I'm not saying he doesn't have a ball handle. He can't handle. I'm saying Dominique might have a better handle though.
Bro, stop.
Yeah, bro. I get what you're saying though, but I think you're going a little bit far.
He jumped higher. He was
a better athlete.
He's a way better athlete.
Yeah, he was a better athlete. So Cole, you would start Dominique, bring Iceman off the bench, and cut Melo.
And not just that, I also feel like Dominique played in a tougher defensive league than there was.
Well, I mean, that's in comparison to Melo, of course. That,
yeah.
But I'm talking about Iceman.
Again, I could listen. Reputation for Iceman based on what my uncles and stuff told me. Like I seen highlights.
Well, I could. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, and we debating it, I could see Dominique being the better overall athlete out of all of them, because even though Iceman could jump, he was wiry, he was strong, but Dominique was a physical specimen, so he's a better athlete than both. I mean, all 3 of them went toe to toe with the top guys in their generation.
Here goes some stats for y'all: Melo versus George Gervin, right? NBA seasons, Melo played 19, Gervin played 10. Playoff appearances, Melo had 13, Gervin had 9. All-Star games, Melo had 10, Gervin had 9. Back to those awards. All NBA first team, none for Melo, Gervin had 5. Yeah. All NBA teams, Melo got 6, Gervin got 7.
Scoring leadings.
Gervin led the league 4 times.
And to add to that stat is that the more games played too, you got to think about, we're more technologically advanced. There's better sneakers, better everything, better treatment. So
I'm starting to lean towards your way. I'm starting, because what I'm saying about
me too, dog, as much as I hate to say
right, because now I don't think Cole is right as far as skill. I do think Melo has better skill than Dominique, and maybe even George Iceman might have better skill than Dominique. But see, Dominique was just an overall better physical specimen. I think he was more explosive than both. And for me, Dominique, man, it's like Dominique had to go, no disrespect to Melo, but Dominique had to go against Jordan, which is arguably the best player of all time. Not even to mention, to get out of that East, you had to go against Isaiah's Pistons, Jordan before they arrived, Boston at the end of a dynasty. Man, Dominique, and then Dominique, just team wasn't as good. I'm starting to side with you. Maybe I'll start Dominique and bring Gervin off the bench. But I'm like Chuck, man, it's hard. That's why I put this on
Melo, man.
Like good Melo, you know what I'm saying? But I will say this. For me, Melo would get cut in the sense that I feel like Melo, the latter part of his career, he fell off tremendously to me.
Melo up on Dominique and all these stats though.
But you also playing in a tougher, rougher generation. Like,
I mean, I know that, but let me ask you this, Chuck. Who would you start your team with? Let's take prime Melo, prime Dominique. If you had to pick one person that say we out on the blacktop, and it's like you got the first pick, we finna play 5-on-5. You got prime Dominique.
I'm taking Melo.
You taking Melo over Dominique? I'm taking
Melo. When I think prime Melo, man, I think his days of averaging 40 in New York. I think of him putting up numbers and assists in Denver. Like, it's tough.
Bro, it's Dominique Wilkins, though. The human highlight film.
I know.
Dunk contest winner. Toe-to-toe with Jordan. Bird. Magic. And I get what you're saying.
Carmelo went toe-to-toe with Braun and all these same
My only thing about Melo is it was more points. But Dominique get the triple doubles. Dominique get the power dunks, the game-changing plays. I don't know. I'm with Cole, man. I gotta go with Cole, man. I put this out here because I was like, Cole ain't gonna cut Carmelo. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna see who Cole's gonna cut out of Dominique and Iceman. He caught me off guard. I might have to rock with Cole because I just think Dominique was just far more explosive, man. Like
the highlights as we speak. Like I'm saying,
Chuck, we all biased, right? Like I'm biased to Jordan. Like in the 80s, man, it wasn't that many people going at Jordan. And then in the 90s, when Jordan was starting to ascend, like it wasn't that many people going at Jordan. And Dominique was one of those dudes that was like, we might not win, but I'm coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And again, man, my case for Jordan of being the greatest, like nobody else won when Jordan was playing in the 90s, except when he went to go play baseball. I might have to side with Cole, man. I thought Cole was hating on the Iceman, but it's I might have to start Dominique, man. I didn't think I was, but Cole made a good point. I might have to start Dominique, man.
Yo, I'm looking at this highlights, man. He's putting on Moses Malone, Charles Barkley. He making Charles Barkley look crazy when Charles Barkley was young, yo. Ah, man.
He was even highlight film. Like, he was, to me, I'm going to be honest with you. People might think I'm crazy. I do think Isaiah Thomas was snubbed off that first Dream Team.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a case that Dominique could have been on that team, too, for me. There's a case that Dominique could have been better than Chris.
Over Barkley or...
Not even Barkley, Chris Mullin.
Yeah.
And Christian Laettner.
Laettner, well, I mean, everybody could have been over Christian Laettner. But think about it. That Dominique versus Chris Mullin is a case. That Dominique versus maybe Clyde. Even though Clyde and Jordan were kind of like number one. But Dominique was in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Dominique was in that conversation. It's like, okay, let me ask y'all this, and I'm going to move off this topic. This is going to make some people mad. This might get some people calling in what I'm about to say. If we take, this is a stretch, so just hear me out on this. Just hear me out. When you first hear this, don't be like, come on, man, but just listen to what I'm saying. If we take prime Scottie Pippen out of Chicago, put him on Atlanta, switch him with Dominique, Put prime Dominique on that team. Now I know his role is gonna be different when he with Mike. He ain't gonna be scoring a lot. But if we take prime Scotty and move him to Atlanta, and take prime Dominique and put it with Jordan, which would never happen in that era. Just think about the skills wise and the impact. Are the Bulls just as good?
Nope.
You don't think so? You don't think Dominique could have done what Scotty did?
No.
What did Scotty do? Okay, that's the question. Hold on, wait, hold on. One at a time. Hold on. Let's go with Chuck first.
We never seen Dominique push the ball up court.
But could
we never seen Dominique shoot a three.
But could he not do it though? That's what I'm saying.
He was the man in Atlanta, and we ain't see it.
But do you think Scotty really shot better threes that much better than Dominique?
We seen him make them. We ain't see Dominique make them.
He had to make threes to score the points he scored.
No, he was a.
Now he didn't. It wasn't his specialty. You're right. Dominique didn't shoot, but I'm just saying. Just think about all the great things that Scotty did alongside. Because you got to remember this about Scotty. He was never the same player without playing with Mike.
Most people ain't though.
Exactly. That's my point. So if you take that's what I'm saying. That's exactly my point. Now, Dominic, we can't.
We seen what Scotty did when he came here.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to do this because we seen Scotty with Mike. We ain't seen Dominique with Mike. But I'm saying we know Dominique would be a different player playing with Mike. Is it really a stretch to say that Dominique wouldn't do the same things that Scotty did? Because Scotty didn't shoot threes like that.
But he was a three. I think Dominique played the four, right?
Nah.
Dominique was a three.
That's why I got Dominique versus Carmelo Gervin, because they are already three small forwards.
Okay, gotcha.
Cole, let me ask you. I'm going to come back to Chuck. If you switch Scotty out with Dominique on that Bulls team.
Man, just watching the highlights from the 57 points he put on Michael Jordan, I think they'll be a lot better team, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Tommy, listen, that's what I'm saying. It is no knock on Scotty, man. It's no knock on Scotty, but it's just like, man, people sleep on Dominique because they would get eliminated every year in the second round of the playoffs. The Hawks. But if you take what Dominique Wilkins did, what he's capable of doing, because, yeah, he didn't shoot threes. Scotty wasn't that great of a three-point shooter.
No, shooting threes wasn't his thing, but he shot them, and he made them in their championship runs.
Man. But we might not even get to the point where you need to make them big threes because there might be a blowout every game with those two on the team. So it's kind of hard to gauge because it's like going to Golden State. It's kind of hard to gauge is with Durant going there, like what they could do because they blew everybody else out. Like it was good competition, and I think that Wilkins can have that effect. He would have had that effect with Jordan.
That's my point.
You would have put him, Barkley, Ewing, any of those star players together.
Listen, and the reason why I bring this up, I've had conversations with other people. Like, as great as Scotty was, and Scotty was great, but we saw what Scotty was when Mike wasn't there.
Well, so Scotty was the epitome of Robin.
That's my point. That's my point.
Right. Wilkins was proving I'm Batman over here. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So if you switched him out,
you have Superman and Batman once he go over there.
Because what happened with Melo and Iverson?
But then that makes my argument even more better because it's like, if Dominique didn't have to do that, if he had a Jordan, because I think he was better than Scotty, me personally.
And not just that, I think you got to think about when you use the comparison of Carmelo and Iverson, they both did the exact same thing. And neither one of them were great defensive players. Jordan's a great defensive player. Jordan could create for others. Jordan could score. Jordan could defend. I think that's a different element. Even if Wilkins is not the greatest defender as Pippen, he does a lot more things better. He's a better finisher than Pippen. He's a
better finisher than Pippen?
Yes!
Better finisher than Pippen.
Look, Chuck, when you get a chance,
I'm not sleeping on Dominique at all, but y'all can't just sit on Pippen Pippen wasn't dunking on people.
Pippen was Pippen.
Finishing tough, bro.
Listen, he is definitely a Hall of Famer, but you got to take into consideration that's with the Bulls. And I'm not taking away what he did. I'm just saying, I've had this conversation before. That's why I say I knew Every time I had this conversation, everybody be looking like you, like, come on, dog. You can't take away.
You gotta understand, I seen Scotty try to be Batman and it ain't work in no team. So trust me, I hear what you're saying.
And I think Dominique Wilkins did some of the same things. It's just that Dominique Wilkins, in the scope of what Atlanta had to be Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that he wasn't as tall as Scotty. I think he was a better athlete than Scotty. Not by much. But I think he was a better athlete than Scotty. He definitely could score better than Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know skills-wise, but just imagine, and the thing about it is Dominique, and that's why you said, did he play the 4? Because sometimes he would go inside.
Yeah, he played in the paint a lot.
He could do that. But he also could make the 15-foot jump shot. I just think people sleep on Dominique Wilkins, man. Listen. I think if you switch Scotty and Dominique out, and people think I'm crazy. I think they win 6 championships with Dominique. I think they don't miss a beat. Because
I would agree with that.
Yeah. I just think but I don't know, man. I'm gonna bring that up one day, Cole. We're gonna debate that with somebody that don't agree with us on Dominique. But people, I'm telling you, man. That's why I say I might have to side with Cole. I might have to start Dominique.
Dominique has no all defensive teams.
Don't matter. He could have played
defense whatsoever.
But he could have.
His offense is his defense.
He was in a different role, Chuck. He had to score in Atlanta, man. That's what I'm saying. You got to remember, he ain't never had a team he ain't never played against or played with a player like Scotty did.
His best player might have been Willis. It might have been Willis, yeah.
Spoiled well, but
yeah.
I mean, it's up for debate, man. But I'm just saying, I might have to side with Cole. Like Cole, I just thought Cole would be like, man, I'm starting Melo. I'm bringing Gervin off the bench, and I might have to get rid of Dominique. But when I started thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? Cole might be right, man. Like, and I started thinking back to my debate about switching Scotty and Dominique. I don't know, man. I feel you, Chuck. We can't just shit on Scotty. I feel you. Like Scotty, 6 rings, and they ain't win a ring till Scotty got there. I got you. It's just that when we see Scotty without Mike, he out there like
fish out of water.
Exactly. 15 points a game in Portland. You know what I'm saying?
Worse than Houston.
Exactly. So I don't know, man. But it's up for debate. But I might have to go with Cole, man. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad in Houston.
It was bad in Portland.
It's like I take Portland over Houston. It was bad in Houston, man. You know what I'm saying? And that was following the Bulls. They run. So I don't know. What's up? Feet say, would defense be as tough with Wilkins, Scotty, a defensive stopper? I mean, you bring up a good point.
Defense wouldn't have been as great.
But that's what I'm saying. Dominique was athletic enough, though. See, that's the thing. See, don't forget this. Don't forget this.
Would not have been as great.
Don't forget this, though, Chuck. You didn't see those qualities from Dominique. That's my point, because Dominique had to play a different role. I'm saying
Jordan was averaging 30, bro. He had to play a different role too.
Yeah, but
Kobe, all them niggas, bro, was D'ing up on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but y'all saying championship defense. But again, Dominique didn't have what Scotty had. I'm just telling you. I just feel like if Dominique had what Scotty had, I think the Bulls don't miss a beat. Now, it's proven, like Fee say, championship defense, Scotty holding 5 players. Dominique was athletic enough to do that too.
He didn't, though.
But he didn't have to. He had to score. That's my point. He had no team.
Maybe if he did, you know what I'm saying, they would have got out the second round, dog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All right, so what y'all saying is...
He say he got Wilkins, though.
Yeah, exactly. He got Wilkins, though. Exactly. So, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not disrespecting Scotty, because Scotty is great.
And Scotty was holding 5 players, bro. Ain't too many people in the league doing that right now.
But you could also say Rodman did that for Chicago, too.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I don't know. All right, we'll move on, but that's a good debate. We're going to have to do a panel debate on that, because I think, you can switch Dominique and Scotty out. But all right, Cole, which team, Chuck 2 in the chat 2, which team wins in a 7-game series? Team USA, which has Steph Curry, Devin Booker, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis versus Team International. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, and Cole's man Jokic. Who wins out of Team International?
Man. Not even a question, man.
Because of Jokic. We know you say
Jokic. It's not even Jokic, Joe. You got Luka, who's Devin Booker's daddy. You got freaking Embiid. Ain't no one on their team checking Embiid and Joker. Like, choose which one. LeBron ain't checking them. Durant ain't checking them. And no one's checking Giannis either. And no one's checking Shea Gilgeous-Alexander either. So I think it'll start off competitive, but overall, they ain't messing with Team International. There's too much. You don't
think the combination of Durant and LeBron gives Team International problems? Because Team International is big, but they slow.
You have four. You have 1, 2, 3 of the last MVPs, which Luka could easily be an MVP consideration.
I mean, but it's an age thing. Like LeBron and Durant have multiple MVPs. They just older.
Yeah, but who else? Who else on there? Luka is definitely better than Booker. Luka is definitely better than Anthony Davis. Joel Embiid is definitely better than Anthony Davis.
I don't know.
Giannis is better than the only ones that stand out. I think.
I don't know.
I think
it's just because Anthony Davis don't play. You're right, but Anthony Davis, I can't say they better. It's just Anthony Davis don't show up. But some people will say you don't show up, you don't. So yeah. I got what you're saying.
He's showing up right now. He averaging 20-12.
All right, so Cole, on Anthony Davis, let me challenge you a little bit. Mm-hmm. When Anthony Davis is playing his best, I'm talking about bubble
he's
Anthony.
Better than Giannis.
Is he better than Giannis?
He's barely better than Giannis, but he's better than Giannis.
Okay, is he better than Embiid?
No, he's not.
Bubble AD versus Embiid.
No, he's not better than Embiid. He's not better than Joker. Period.
In a discussion on your end.
And no doubt. Discussion. He's not better than Luka either. He's not better than Luka. End of discussion on that too.
I'm not sold on Luka yet.
Nah, man. Luka, I watched him play against teams like even when they play against Phoenix, and it could be Durant, Booker, and Beal and all that. He produces, man. He'll put up 60 points. And it's all that you look at him like, how do you put up 60? You're so slow. Like you do everything like methodical and freaking, but you still
take Booker out. Put in Anthony Edwards.
You know what's so hard about that is because as much as I like Anthony Edwards and I think Booker's still slightly better at this point in time, slightly.
I'll take that.
And I don't think either one of them is better than Luka yet. And I love it. Anthony Edwards is my favorite player in the league, even more than Brunson. Like, he's my favorite player in the league, Anthony Edwards. But I recognize he's still a year or two away from being the best player or the best guard. And I don't know if he could be the best guard because Shea is that dude, man.
So Feed is saying Team International too.
Yeah, but Team International.
So what if you take out Book for somebody like Tatum or Jaylen Brown?
Still, Tatum be soft sometimes, man. I'm starting to realize that, man. Tatum be soft sometimes. But
shout out to Feed. Feed said that a long time ago too. Like Tatum don't show up in the playoffs when they need him.
Yeah,
he's iffy. He's iffy. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say Team International, but see, I don't know. I just think we looking at Giannis, Embiid, and Joker. Okay, the last 3 MVPs, like Cole said, but we forgetting. Maybe I should have said prime of each, because if you take prime LeBron, prime Durant versus prime Giannis, prime Embiid, like Joker is the X factor. Mm-hmm. Let's take Joker out. But if you take prime LeBron, prime Durant versus prime Giannis, prime Embiid, is that a better comparison? Because when was LeBron in his prime? His Miami years?
He had a long prime. He had a long prime. You could have said Cleveland, Miami. It don't matter.
Okay, his best years did. Statistically wise, is it? I think it's Miami's LeBron.
I still don't think that. I think Luka's that good, and I think Joker, Giannis is that dominant, and I think Embiid is good. Like,
but I don't know, man. It's like Fee said. That's why I asked the question. Prime, because right now, of course, Team International, like Jokic alone.
I don't know what Davis's prime is though, because Davis was always.
I say bubble, the bubble Davis when they won that championship. He was the X-Factor.
Bubble Davis against Joker last year.
But we're not talking about Joker.
No. We can take Joker out. You could say Bubble Davis against Embiid this year or last year.
That's a debate, though. That's a debate because
I don't know.
Well, you got to remember, and I get it. It's like, what have you done for me lately? Of course, Embiid has been on a tear this year. He scored 70 points. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at what Anthony Davis did in that bubble, like I think he was averaging like 30 points, 20-something rebounds. And we both agreed on this podcast at many times that if Anthony Davis, if he just, and that's why the Lakers can't reach their peak, because I've told you that team was built for Davis playing at his best. But if Anthony Davis is playing his best at his peak, meaning going inside and outside, blocking shots, that's a debate between him and Embiid. That's an debate. That's a debate. That's definitely a debate. Because no matter what you say about Anthony Davis, he is a big part of them winning that ring that year. I know it was a bubble. Joel Embiid ain't won a ring yet. Now, that's not completely Joel Embiid's fault, but there are games that Joel Embiid didn't show up, whether it be Doc Rivers coaching, James Harden, whatever. That's a debate. That's a prime Anthony Davis versus a prime Joel Embiid is a debate. I'm telling you. And then you got a prime Durant, what would we say? Golden State?
You could say anytime after his. You could say anytime after
Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And then you got Giannis versus prime LeBron or prime Durant. I'm talking about Giannis that won Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same season.
Yeah, those are. I bet you remember me arguing, and he did outplay Durant, but Durant was. Those are debatable. I just think the X factor comes down to really Luka.
Okay. Well, I don't even think I'm just not sold on Luka. Got to give me more. They got to win, and Luka got to do something for me in the playoffs defensively. I'm just telling you, man. Like I get what you're saying. Probably one of the, if not the best, besides Jokic, offensively in the game when he's in his groove. You know what I'm saying? But it's just I don't know, man. I don't know because and to your point, I don't know if we even seen prime Luka yet. I don't even know if he's reached his peak yet because he's so young. So we have to wait on that. But right now, you're Team International. But also think about them guys in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on. All right. Let's talk about, let's stay in the East. Let's talk about the state of the Eastern Conference going into the second part of this season. Let's rank these Eastern Conference teams right now in the first half. You got the Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, and Cavs. 1 through 4. Who do you think going into the second half of the season? Everybody's going back to practice tomorrow. Right now, who do you think? What's the order between the Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, and Cavs? And of course, explain and let's debate on this. Right now.
Number four is the Bucks.
Okay. Give me your order and then we'll talk about why.
So I'm gonna stick with the Celtics at number 1 because the Knicks have injuries. I still think even with the injuries, the Knicks are better than the Cavs. Like if Randall doesn't come back, as long as we get OG back and Robinson, I still think we could beat the Cavs. I think we could beat the Bucks. I don't think we could beat the Celtics without Randall.
So your logic is, as of now, you think your logic of the order, which would be Celtics, Knicks, Cavs, and Bucks, is that you, in a 7-game series where the playoffs started today, you do believe the Knicks can beat the Bucks and the Cavs.
Yes.
In a 7-game series.
Yes. The Celtics, I'm unsure. I'm unsure because they do have Drew Holiday to guard Brunson and wear him down, and without Randall, And I do think OG could eliminate Jaylen Brown out of a series. But they played the way that they moved the ball. I actually wouldn't even have the Bucks in here. I actually would put the Pacers as number 4.
Which is debatable.
Yeah, but
right.
but I would definitely put Celtics 1, Knicks number 2, Cavs number 3, Bucks number 4. But if I had an option to switch them out, I would put the Pacers in that number 4. I really think the Bucks don't have a strong bench. I think that Father Time is catching up with Lillard. Not saying that he's not good. I'm just saying he just looks. I'm not gonna say average because he's better than average, but he doesn't look like the Lillard in Portland of the last few years.
You talking about All-Star MVP Lillard?
Yeah. I don't think he looks like the Lillard from Portland. I think he looks like
I mean, that's a good. I mean, yeah, nobody's debating that. He's definitely not going to look like what he looked like in Portland.
And I think Giannis is. I don't know. Giannis is Giannis, but Giannis hasn't. I don't know. He's not looking as threatening as he used to be to me.
I'm blaming Doc Rivers for all that too.
Nah,
I ain't gonna say it's Doc's fault, but I do think the coaching change is affecting them. But I don't think it's necessarily Doc. I think that whole situation, whatever went on with Adrian Griffin, and then Doc is gonna be the one they blame, even though it's really not his fault, because he's got to figure out it's something going on with them internally that he got to figure out, and he don't have that much time. But it's not really his fault though. I can't blame him.
He got the job.
Well, he inherited.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. But
Ty Lue figured it out. Ty Lue said, "Man, I'm gonna figure this out in 10 games," and Clippers been balling ever since.
Yeah, but to Ty Lue's credit,
he got some elite, superior players.
Not only that, but it's a difference.
Dame not elite and superior.
Yeah, but it's a difference. Let me tell you why. And that's a good point. I'm gonna tell you why the difference is that situation in LA is more smoother because out of all those guys that's there, the main reason why it's working is Ty Lue, but Russell took a back seat.
Oh yeah, Brody.
So when you have superstars that say, you know what? So when Russell takes that back seat, it leaves Kawhi and Paul. Paul has never had a problem with being number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows that they've kind of accepted what's going on. The rift could have came between Russell and James, maybe overcoming Kawhi, but because Russell,
one of them two, either James or Russell, one of them was gonna have to come off the
right. Bench. Well, and even James is taking a back seat in that I'll just be the point guard and I'll score when I need to. So that's why that's working, because those two veterans have said, you know what, we're trying to win a ring. Y'all are younger, y'all are more successful, and so Ty Lue, to his credit, figured out how they were going to do the offense and everything. But what really worked in LA is that those two took a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Milwaukee, there's something going on inside their locker room. And I've heard multiple reports. I don't know if they're true, but there's something that was going on for Adrian Griffin to get fired for going 30-13. There was something going on where I don't know if it was a pecking order or thing. I heard rumors about Dame had a problem with Adrian Griffin because Dame's coach, Terry Stotts, that was his coach in Portland, was over there, and him and Adrian Griffin got into it. That started a rift. Then I heard that Adrian Griffin was holding Dame and Giannis to a higher standard defensively. He didn't think they were getting it. So it was a whole different thing where Doc has got to come in, try to establish some order, which he's not that good at, and then figure out how we going to pick the pieces up and make the second half work. Now, you do have two great players. You should figure it out. But to the credit, I think LA's situation is a little bit more smoother because
I agree. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, you got two elite superstar players.
Yeah, that's going to be the knock.
Coach.
If they don't,
y'all like in the top of the East.
Right. If they don't get it done, that's going to be what it is. But I don't know. I agree with Cole. I do think the Celtics, back to the topic, I do think the Celtics and Knicks are 1 and 2.
So I brought up the current stats, right? Just so we could kind of have this conversation with what's currently happening. Celtics number 1, Cleveland number 2, Bucks number 3, and New York is number 4. These are the same 4 teams we talking about.
Right.
So we just think that the current order. So how we feel about the current order?
Well, see, that's what I'm about to get into because to Cole's point, I think the Celtics, which they are number 1, that's not even a debatable topic. But let's talk about, I think where the discussion can come between the Knicks and the Cavs. Now, I'm going to agree with Cole on this. The Cavs are just surging. They really haven't been. They've been on they went on like a 28, a 15 game winning streak or something like that. But when I sit down there,
9-1 in their last 10.
Right. When I sit down and I say to myself, in a 7-game series, coach to coach, player to player, can the Cavs really beat the Knicks in a 7-game series? And I say no. Because I do think, is that still the same Cleveland team that lost to the same New York team last year?
Mm-hmm. They just got that's it. That's the
right.
only addition.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if Cleveland is there's been some eternal things there too with Donovan. I mean, he's playing good right now, but I know he kind of, it seems like he wants out of Cleveland. I just feel better about where the Knicks are in terms of the overall team and the execution. Now, the Cavs have been on a winning streak, but I need to see the Cavs beat the Knicks in a 7-game series before I can put the Cavs over the Knicks. Now, that's up for debate because you can debate that the Cavs are just as good as the Knicks. In the standings, like you did, Chuck, and I'm glad you brought that up, they are number 2. But if we're talking about overall all this year, I think the Knicks have been more consistent. I think the Knicks have a more solid lineup as to what they want to get done every night. That's just my opinion. I don't have no numbers to support that.
It's 30 more games, right, left in the season. Mm-hmm. And so you saying, based off what we're talking about now, you think that the Knicks will end up jumping to closer to that second or third spot?
I don't think they have to jump to a second, third spot. I think we're just talking about who's better.
I just think that they'll beat. I think
this could be a 6 seed and still make it to the finals type of thing. Like I think Knicks are,
because look at it like this. Look, I don't mean to cut you off, Cole. Do you think the Cavs can beat the Bucks, Chuck, in a 7-game series?
The playoffs start today. The Knicks would play Joel Embiid in the Sixers.
They win that.
New York wins that.
Yeah, they win that. I just don't think Philadelphia has enough.
With the healthy Joel?
Even with the healthy Joel. I just don't think, other than him and Maxey, I can't count on anybody on that team other than those two. Lineup for lineup, I think the Knicks win that. And I'm going to tell you why. I think the Knicks have figured out how to win.
Yeah.
And I just think that, I don't know, something is missing in Philadelphia. Maybe it's a third player. Do I think the Cavs could beat the Bucks in a 7-game series? I'm not convinced.
Could they beat Miami? If the playoffs start today, Cavs would match up against Miami.
I'm not sure. That's my point.
I think Miami could beat the Celtics.
I'm not sure.
What'd you say, Cole?
I think Miami could beat the Celtics.
Well, Miami, the playoffs anyway, can beat anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a good comparison.
I feel like it's all about matchups because I really think that Indiana is a real bad matchup for the Bucks. I think they're a really bad matchup for the Bucks.
I mean, to Cole's point too, and I didn't put it on here because they're below all these teams, but I'm not sure if the Cavs can beat Indiana in the 7-game series right now.
I agree. And as horrible as All-Star Weekend was, Halliburton made me a believer.
I've been told.
And you have,
but I've been saying,
bro, like just to see him in the skills challenge, like, okay, he really got skills. You know what I'm saying? Even in the All-Star game with the playing around, it's like, okay, he can really shoot.
Him and Bronson have been the best 2 point guards in the East, hands down.
Facts.
Hands down.
And he scares me. Like I told people this for weeks. I was like, the team I don't want to see in the playoffs is Indiana. I love what Carlisle's doing over there.
And again, if the Knicks played the Pacers, I would pick the Knicks because I know the Knicks are battle-tested in the playoffs. I got to see Indiana in that point. But talent for talent, skill for skill, Indiana is scary for anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But so well.
Right. But I got when I talk about experience in playoffs, because I know Giannis is going to show up in the playoffs. I know the Celtics are going to show up in the playoffs. I'm a believer in the Knicks now. Cavs,
gotta see it.
Pacers, as good as I gotta see it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's why, mainly for me, that's why I got the Celtics and the Knicks, because I think they figured it out as far as if we were to go to the playoffs today, I ain't talking about skill for skill, talent for talent. I'm talking about playoff experience and who I think is ready to win now. I got those two. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. We'll skip team red, team blue. We'll take up those topics next week. All right, let's get into some boxing and then we'll shut it down. Because I think we've had some great discussion tonight, and I don't want to water it down. Let's get into boxing. All right. Let's talk about resumes in boxing. And I bring this topic up because I think it's a new four kings. I think we have two of the original, maybe three of the original four kings that we talked about a long time ago. But now it's three of the same. It's Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and I'm changing Ryan Garcia for Teofimo Lopez. All right. Now, who has the better resume? Think about these two questions because they're different. Who has the better resume and who is the most accomplished right now? Gervonta Davis, 9 former and current world champions faced, 10 undefeated opponents faced. And I'm talking about the world champions. Actually, that was a typo. 10 undefeated opponents, I'm sorry. He's beaten 9 former or current world champions, and he's beaten 10 undefeated opponents. That's Gervonta Tank Davis. That's Cole's favorite fighter. Teofimo Lopez, 4 former or current world champions faced, 3 undefeated opponents faced. Teofimo's at 140. Gervonta Tank Davis is at 135. Shakur Stevenson, 2 former or current world champions faced, 3 undefeated opponents faced. Devin Haney, Devin the Dream Haney, 140. 6 former or current world champions faced, 5 undefeated opponents faced. All right, out of these 4 kings, who has the best resume? Let's start with resume first. Who has the best resume out of Gervonta Davis, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, and Devin Haney? Who has the best resume? And remember, when we talk about resume, number of champions, who you faced, and then when we talk about accomplishments, who has done more in terms of who they fought. And I'll give you an example. In my opinion, Devin Haney is the most accomplished simply because of he undisputed a whole division. That's my opinion. But let's talk about who has the best resume. Who you think has the best resume, Cole?
I mean, if you want to go off the undisputed thing, I would agree with you with Haney and then put Gervonta at number 2. I'll probably put Teofimo Lopez at number 3 and Stevenson at number 4. And part of my reason for Stevenson is because I felt like he had an opportunity to fight and he didn't take that opportunity, so he kind of fell down in my rankings with that, yo.
Which is I can see that. I'm gonna disagree, and you're gonna be surprised at when I say who has the best resume. I'm gonna say Tank Davis, just to show you.
Based off everything you said, that based off what you said, he has the best. He has the best one as far as the amount of people that he fought with chips.
That's why I say I still say Tank. As much as I get on Tank, I think Tank has the best resume. However, my counter argument to that is too, Tank is older.
Mm-hmm.
The most accomplished is out of Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. And Devin Haney undisputed 135. Then he moved up to 140 and beat a 140 champion, took a belt. Teofimo at 135 won every belt except the WBC. And it's who Teofimo fought. George Kambosos, who Devin Haney beat to become undisputed. Teofimo beat Josh Taylor, who was an undisputed champion at 140.
Mm-hmm.
And we also got to look at it like this. Unlike Haney, Teofimo beat Lomachenko with no controversy. See, Devin beat Lomachenko, and a lot of people think that Lomachenko won.
Yeah. A lot of people, including me.
Yeah, you including yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Tank got the best resume with the 9 former or current world champions, even though they are all Latino.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say Devin is the most accomplished. Now, if all 4 fight, who wins?
Davis.
You think Davis can beat all of them?
I think Davis could beat all of them.
Oh no.
And I would never change that until it happens.
I know Davis can beat Lopez. If they were to fight at Davis's weight, which is 135, I think Davis could beat Haney because Haney doesn't look good at 135. That's why he looked that bad against Lomachenko because they fought at 135. Haney is bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Davis beats Stevenson at 135. And my reason for that is I think that's the best fight at 135.
Will we ever see it?
That's a good question. I doubt it now. I doubt it because of Stevenson's his bad performance. Tank's coach got on there, and I understand what he's saying. He was like, Calvin Davis, which is Tank's one of Tank's coaches, is like, I would be robbing Tank and the people if I put him in there with Shakur Stevenson doing all the running that he does. It's like people pay to watch Tank knock people out.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I put him in there? I do think Stevenson is the only one that could beat him, though. And the reason why I say that, I'll tell you this about Tank. I think Tank and Canelo, neither one of them can be knocked out. I think the only way you beat either Canelo or Tank is you have to outpoint them, hit and don't get hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Shakur could do that. It would be a very tall task because Tank, we don't give Tank a lot of credit. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people that criticize Tank. We don't give Tank a lot of credit for he's a great boxer as well.
Mm-hmm.
I could see why you would say Tank would beat everybody because he is a great boxer, but I don't know, man. Shakur Stevenson, to me, at 135 is the closest thing to Floyd. It takes a Floyd to beat a Canelo. And I just think that Stevenson is the only one that could beat Tank. Possibly. Now, the difficult thing about that fight is, and anybody that fights Tank is, can you keep him off of you for 12 rounds? Because you're not going to knock him out. Can you outpoint him and keep him off you for 12 rounds? It would probably be more pressure on Shakur, but I think Shakur could do it. I think Shakur could beat Tank, but I don't know. So for my best resume, I'm going to say Gervonta Tank Davis. Most accomplished, I'm going to say Devin Haney. And you said the best resume, who'd you say? Did you say Haney?
I say Haney from being undisputed, but if you look at technically the numbers, you would have to say Tank Davis. But the fact that now I'm understanding the undisputed thing a little bit more, it does say a lot.
Yeah, it does. Especially when it was in the same division that Gervonta Tank Davis was in, but he never wanted to fight. So, Anyway. But I do think, to be honest with you, I do think Tank beats Devin at 135. That's why I think Tank should have fought him. That's why I think Shakur should have took that deal because I think at 135, Devin is not, he's too big. Now at 140, I don't think nobody beats Devin. That's just my personal opinion. Even Matias. I know everybody talking about Matias right now, but I don't think nobody beats Devin at 140. All right, let's build your boxing stable. You're a boxing promoter, Cole. You pick one fighter from each role, and Chuck, you want to get on this too. Each role and tell us the first 3 signs. All right, tier 1. You're a boxing promoter. You got to pick one fighter out of each tier. Tier 1 is Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. You a boxing. If you're a boxing promoter, which fighter are you picking out of that tier 1? You can only
Davis is going to be the crowd favorite for promotion reasons. You pick Gervonta Davis for pure boxing, and you want the best boxer. You pick Terrence Crawford.
I might take Canelo just because when we talk about promotion, he's gonna bring out the whole international crowd, and he's always been a big ticket fighter as well.
That's true too.
It's hard. It's hard for me because for me it's a little bit more. I got to be a little bit more specific. Okay, if I'm talking about, if I got three, if let's just say I got, it depends on how long I get the fighter. If I got 3 fights, I don't know, man. It's tough because I'll tell you why it's tough from each fighter. For Devin Haney, he's the youngest. He's easy for me to promote because of his accomplishments. And he's never ducked any smoke. And he's the youngest of them, which means that if I can do 3 fights and I can keep him, he's the future. I take Devin. If we talking about my dream of selling an American fighter, American dream, and the closest thing to the draw of a Mike Tyson, meaning everybody likes to see a dude that comes from the rough, rugged, and raw and be the champion, a guy that comes from the streets, a guy that comes from a rough background like a Mike Tyson, and I could sell video games off of him, and the tough guy, it's Gervonta Tank Davis all day. If I want to bring out the hip-hop crowd, if I want to bring out the females, the black females, if I want to bring out the Bugattis, the Benzes, and it's Gervonta Tank Davis. If I'm going to Vegas, if I want that big time, that pay-per-view villain that everybody gonna come watch, it's Tank Davis. If it's, I got the best fighter in the world, and this dude could knock somebody out, or this dude could outpoint. If I'm just selling based on if I'm just promoting the best fighter in the world, the best skill overall, who I think could be the next legend, it's Terrence Bud Crawford. It's Terrence Bud Crawford. I got the best fighter in the world. If it's Canelo Alvarez, it's like what Chuck said. Has fought every tough fight that we've asked him. Like, the thing about Canelo, what I could sell as a promoter is Canelo is one of the few fighters I can ever remember that whoever the public demanded him for him to fight, he fought. When he was young, he took the challenge on, even though it was too early, but it was good for him fighting Floyd. It was a lot of people scared to fight Floyd when they were that young as he was. He fought Miguel Cotto. He fought Sugar Shane Mosley. He fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He fought Dimitri Bivol. He fought Charlo, even though it wasn't the right Charlo. He fought Charlo. He undisputed at 168. And he gonna bring in the most dollars. And if I want to sell the face of boxing, it goes to Canelo Alvarez for me. But with that being said, one fighter out of that group, man, I'm going to say Devin Haney. Because with Devin, I could get the accomplishments of a Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford, which is undisputed. But the thing about Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford, they older. Both of them going to be done within the next 5 years. I could promote Devin Haney for the next 10 years. Young, undefeated, can get any fight that he wants, undisputed. I'm going with Devin Haney. Tier 2, David Benavidez, Ryan Garcia, Tim Tszyu, Jesse Rodriguez. Who you taking, Cole?
I'm taking Ryan Garcia for the lure of the Latino population.
I can understand.
But you can take David, but I just think Ryan Garcia is more popular amongst all three.
He is a promoter's dream. You right about that.
Well,
he's a promoter's dream. Yeah, he's a pretty boy. Chuck, who you taking?
Tier 2?
Benavidez, Garcia, Tim Zoo, Jesse Rodriguez.
I think I agree with Cole. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is the easiest to promote and probably had the biggest impact.
Social media, he's a social star. That's why that Tank fight was so successful commercially, is that Ryan was a big YouTube sensation. I got to go with Garcia, man. I got to go with Garcia simply because he's the easiest. He's the most known in the public. Now, do I think he's checked the box as far as his skills? No, but he's the easiest person to promote as a good guy or a bad guy in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tier 3. Adam Azam, Abdullah Mason, Andy Cruz, Jared Anderson. And I'm going to take Adam out. And I'm going to put Ali, because nobody really knows who Adam is. We wasn't going to pick Adam anyway. But Adam, Abdullah, Andy Cruz, Jared Anderson. Who you got, Cole? I know who I'm picking. This is easy.
What I like about the Mason kid, he's only 19 years old, man.
Yeah, he got youth on his side.
That's like straight out of high school last year. Like, you know what I mean? I'm probably going with him. And for him to have that, like, flush power, yeah, I'll probably go with him.
Chuck, who you go with?
I like Jared Anderson, dog.
That's my pick.
I like Jared Anderson.
It's a heavyweight.
Yeah, he's a big guy, dog.
It's a young heavyweight.
And he's
from America.
And he knock boys out, bro. Like, he ain't just boxing out there. He fighting, dog. And I like him.
He the next big American heavyweight. Cole, that's a good pick. Abdullah is. The thing about Abdullah is you got to move him good.
Mm-hmm.
Abdullah, to me, is the best kept secret. One of the best kept secrets. So if you can keep him for a long time, yeah. But you got to think the risk you run with Abdullah is the same risk you run with Boots, is that they so good they going to be avoided. He going to have a hard time getting fights. Like, commissions are going to have to mandate that people fight him because they're going to be afraid to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, it's the heavyweight division. They got to fight. Ain't that many heavyweights out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got to fight. But they from the same stable. They both at top rank. But I would go with Jared just because America needs a big heavyweight. Tyson Fury been smacking us around.
Yeah, he been smacking everybody around.
You know what I'm saying? And Tyson Fury had Jared Anderson come to his camp, and he even said Jared is the new thing. So I got to go with the American heavyweight. I think he's easy to promote. Americans we ain't had a certified heavyweight champion. I mean, Wilder got beat up so bad by Fury. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think he won any of those fights. They gave him a draw, but I don't think he won any. I think Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world, and I think it's not even close between him and Wilder. So I'm going to go with Jared, man. All right, Chuck, the last thing. Let's talk about who had the best knockout in the last 2 weeks. And both of these fighters are on top-ranked promotional company. Let's start with Abdullah. That's the one we showed last week, Chuck. But let's show y'all Abdullah Mason's knockout versus my man, Bruce Shushu Carrington's knockout, which took place on last Friday night. But
Which one we doing first?
Let's do Abdullah first.
Okay.
Yeah. This is Cole's pick, it is a nasty knockout. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that's it.
This is from Abdullah Mason. He didn't need a short leash. All he needed was one shot to say good night.
Again, the start right here. Initiating the offense, not afraid to step into the pocket. That's what you're seeing. Left hand after left hand. Knew he had his man hurt. Stepped in. You see Doc.
That was 9 straight left hands, Tim, and here's the finish.
Here it is. Timing. Got the high guard up. He waiting for the chance. Mid-range jab. Why you going to do that, son? Some punches to the left. You shouldn't throw some punches, especially a jab at mid-range.
That's nasty.
Wow. This is just ridiculous. Accuracy,
go ahead.
Power, and destruction.
Throw the jab at mid-range. Go ahead. You're not supposed to do that.
Let's listen to
I want to listen. I'm going to just be quiet.
Check that man's knee out.
He put him in. Hey, that's a yoga position right there, right?
For your winner by.
All right.
Hey, man, look, bro.
Now show my man Shushu. I mean, we got to give Abdul his credit. That's gonna be one of the knockouts out of the year. But check out my man from Brownsville, New York.
That was tough, bro. Did you hear that hit, dog?
Yeah. But listen to my man. Listen to my man. Just listen to my man. Shoot. This is right up. This is actually right up the block, probably from Cole.
Nice little counter right there from Shushu. Picking it up that Torres was actually trying to counter his counter.
Yes.
And he countered him.
Good left hook. And now the right hand connects upstairs. Good offensive output here in the middle of round number 4.
We're going to see how he delivers.
Good headshot that time on the inside. This has been a strong round from Shushu Carrington. 1-2. Right hand landed. Knockdown scored! My oh my, Shushu! Hometown hero! Knockout scored! Devastating power from Shushu! Brooklyn born and does it at home! What a statement!
Just waiting, anticipating. Lets the right hand go. Boom. Loop the right hand. Didn't throw it straight that time. Just taking advantage of Torres being in a terrible position. You see him squared up right here. Trying to fire back. Never saw that punch coming. Here it is again. Different angle. Shushu putting that high guard up. Nice little pull right hand. But he was able to step back.
Listen to this.
Is Mason left-handed or right-handed?
That rear hook. That's good stuff.
Talk to me about what this performance.
Yo.
All right. Now.
Is Mason right-handed or left-handed?
Bro.
I think
if he's right-handed and he knocked him out like that with the left, I'm giving it to Mason.
All right. I know you biased to Mason.
No. I'm not biased to Mason. I actually like that. And the fact that he's from Brooklyn, you know, Shushu. I didn't know about Shushu though, so you put me on the Shushu.
The thing about it is Mason's sound sounded nasty.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded nasty.
It was thrown more crisp too, a little bit more crisp.
I don't know, but see, Shushu, the way he hit him, when Mason hit his dude, he crumbled. When Shushu hit him, he was out before he hit the ground.
Yeah, he was out of there.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was out on his
contact.
When Abdullah hit him, it was like, oh, my legs was gone.
Yeah.
I'm out of there.
Yeah.
When Shushu hit him though,
lights out
because you could tell how he landed on his face with his ass up. He didn't know where he was. But he
retired. He was like he retired after that. He's like,
it was great knockouts, man. So
I don't think I can box anymore. If I ever got knocked out like that, I'd be like, yo, baby, I ain't boxing no more.
Hey,
you know
so before we go, who got the best one?
I gotta give it to what's his name, Shushu, for putting him to sleep before he hit the ground. But the way it looks, I say for optics, what's his name looks better. Mason. For what it did, Shushu's was better.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, I could get with that. Because Mason's knockout sound like, back in the day when we used to watch them movies and they like the Batman series, it pow, boom, pow, that's what that shit sound like.
Should have popped on the screen and said bang.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. But again, like Shushu dude landed face first, ass up. You know what I'm saying? But both are great young prospects coming up in the game. I think Shushu was
they both had that knee problem. That left knee hurting whenever they got up. That left knee, ACL out of there, something out of there.
Listen, I know my face is hurting, but I think I tore my ACL.
Yeah.
Exactly, dog.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Tony King, man. His nephew plays for Iowa State. I'm sitting next to him. What's up, Tony, man? Shout out to you.
Today.
Yeah, U of H is playing Iowa State. We got to get out here and go watch it. All right, let's do our shout outs, and then let's get out of here, Cole. I'm going to shout out to Damon Leonard for becoming the 2024 three-point contest champion. Leonard joins the company of the following players as they go back-to-back in the three-point contest as winners. Jason Capono, Peja Stojakovic, Mark Price, Craig Hodges, and Larry Bird. All right, so shout out to Dame for winning the three-point contest back-to-back and joining the likes of those players. Maybe one Hall of Fame out of that group, but that's not easy to win the three-point contest back-to-back. Shout out to Matt McClung for now being the two-time slam dunk champion. He's doing some impressive things, even though he doesn't play in the
That's
NBA.
why next year, bro, we need to do a petition for Ja Morant.
Oh yeah,
Zion. Like, if they don't come back, All-Star Weekend is gonna continue.
Well, that's
to
the
go
thing.
down.
That's why I say, man, Stephen A. had a good point. It might have been LeBron that ruined it because it's like, imagine this dunk contest: Ja Morant, Zion,
Jalen Green from the H.
Jalen Green from the Rockets. That's another good pick. And anybody after that. Just imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be crazy. That, like, we probably haven't had a great slam dunk contest since Levine
and Aaron Gordon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, facts.
With superstar players. All right. I got to keep giving my man his love, and if I don't, man, they'll forget about it. Shout out to CJ Stroud for being one of the best athletes on the planet. Check out his last 10 days, Cole. On February the 8th, he won the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. February the 15th, won Travis Scott's Cactus Jack Celebrity Softball Game MVP in H-Town. Shout out to Houston. And February the 16th, scored 30 points in the NBA Celebrity Game. Shout out to my man who's burning the streets up. And he even gave Amber Rose a ride home. You know what I'm saying? Chuck, give me a round of applause for my man.
Stay away from Amber Rose, fam. CJ, this come across.
I mean, my man was just being a nice guy. I'm gonna take it like that. I'm gonna say nothing happened.
Yeah, stay away from Amber Rose, bro.
Yeah, stay in the church, man. Stay in the church, man. Stay in the church.
There's plenty of people she could have got a ride from.
Hey, my man is a nice
Amber
guy.
Rose don't need no ride, dog. Like,
she could have called an Uber. She could have did anything, man.
Nah, bro, she could have left.
Oh, man, she might have been called. He might be like, hey, I'm going the same direction. I feel y'all, though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, my man is an all-around athlete, man.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but stay away from Amber Rose.
Stay away from him, man. We don't want you to turn out like Harden, man, when he was here, man. That's a whole nother discussion. All right, shout out to former NBA champion and Survivor contestant Scott Pollard, who used to play for the Sacramento Kings back in the day with Bibby and C-Webb. You know, those great years where they couldn't beat the Lakers. But he's awake and feeling great a day after having a heart transplant. And his wife says Saturday on social media he is awake and feeling great. So shout out to him. I know for a while he needed some heart work, so he finally got that transplant. And shout out to him and his family. And we wishing you a speedy recovery from here at Debate with Bake. All right, Cole, you got any shout outs, man?
Shout out to my man, since we're gonna stay on that route. We shout out to my man Nate Robinson for continuing to fight through his lack of a kidney, man. He needs a kidney. So if anybody out there listening, man, donate that kidney to Nate Rob if you can. Shout out to all the NBA All-Stars who made the All-Star team. You know, congratulations to them. And shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have been playing some consistent ball. Want to give them their props. They're getting healthy at the right time. And, you know, we'll see what the second half of the season is. So that's my shout outs.
My shout out goes to the LED court that the NBA was using for All-Star Weekend, bro. I would love to see that make its way to all the stadiums and be fitted. I would love to see some NBA Jams type graphics. He's on fire and all of that stuff. Like, the LED court was dope. That was probably the highlight of the whole All-Star Weekend.
It was. Let me tell y'all something. We was off air, man. Chuck was talking about that. I was like, Chuck got that producer eye because I forgot about that.
Let me ask Cole what I asked Bake. So, Cole, I told Bake, if you saw the celebrity game with all of the tricks and stuff they was doing with the LED court, I think that stuff, like the crunch time play and the moving 4-pointer and all that, would have made the All-Star game more competitive.
Now, I think it would. But the All-Star game is just they got to do a lot of repair to that, man. I just don't even think it's so much they have to do repair. I just think players just have to just want it.
Well,
Yeah,
Bake was right.
yeah.
At the end of the day, your
But-
synopsis is right. The
Right,
players have to want it.
But at the end of the day, I really can't. I can give Chuck a lot of credit because it's like, yeah, the players got to do it. But just think if the players did do it and we was able to add the
Like-
court,
Like,
even if it's not in the All-Star game, just like the dunk contest.
that's
or
what I'm
3,
saying.
yeah.
Jump from here, that pop up on the screen.
Yep.
And he jumped
Just
from
think
there.
about that in the dunk contest.
Well,
When they jump
imagine
from the free throw
imagine the
line.
kind of game of horse they could have played with that court. Right? Like, I'm thinking like that. Like, bro, they could have really.
I ain't gonna lie, man. You know what that court reminded me of? It's gonna sound funny, but it made the movie for me. Space Jam 2 with LeBron when they went to go play that final
Mhm.
game,
Exactly.
and the kid designed the court. That was crazy. I know, ladies and gentlemen, it's like, yeah, that's a cartoon, but it was live.
It was live.
It was live. So the production
Yeah.
was off the chain. But anyway, it is what it is, man. Another great show. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat, everybody that's liking this episode, liking this show. Shout out to Most Serious, the label, everybody that's helping Most Serious, everybody that's on Most Serious, man. Shout out to Cole in New York City. Let's get into the second half of the NBA season. We will be back next week with the gambling. It's time for me and Cole to start winning some. And we're going to get this second part of the season started. Got a little surprise for you guys coming up, too. I'm going to jump on this baseball thing this year. So I'm going to have a couple of people that come in that's familiar with the game, and let's talk about the preseason and the MLB headed up. And then we'll get ready for the NBA playoffs. Then we'll get ready for the NFL draft. We're going to have our guests coming back in, and we're going to move forward,
Oh,
man.
we got Olympics this year.
That's right.
All right. So we'll see Dream Team. We'll see.
That's right.
Yeah,
we got a hell of a sports year coming up.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, man, we got a couple of fights coming up in boxing that I want to talk about, but we got a lot to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen. But I am your host, Debate with Bait, C Bait. That's my co-host, Cole, all the way from New York City. And that's Chuck wearing the CEO hat along with the producer hat. And we are out, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.